Wow, this is like when the teacher calls on you and you didn't know that it was your time yet. But yeah, so this guy says Palworld literally, which by the way, for those who don't know, literally means actually 100% factual. Forced Nintendo to adapt. We should all thank Palworld.
This is like an English class 101.
This tweet has 46 views. How did you find this?
Also, for the listeners, it's just
Exactly
it's
what
just showing
Infamous
the
did.
real-time battle. That's all it's showing. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah.
I did
I've seen-
exactly what Infamous did, and I typed in because I knew like
No,
you know what? You know what?
Let's go.
We posted, no,
I just retweeted that.
This
I
poor
saw
guy with like 5
Lutu.
followers is gonna get like so many hate people on it. now.
It was. How are you turning me into a villain for this? I saw Lutu posted something like about people are actually saying Palworld like save Pokemon or something, and I was like, there's no way people are saying that. So I searched Palworld and Pokemon, and this was the first thing I saw. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I had another roast, but I was like, nah, you're taking his slot now.
I like how we don't judge on this channel, and we destroy like notable figures and nobodies. I love it.
Oh yeah, there's no bounds to this level.
This is great.
Listen, we don't judge. We just judge opinions.
Yeah.
No discrimination.
Everyone's
welcome.
I'm sure
everyone's
Evan's a
getting it.
great guy. However, the thing that he has done in this post is bad.
Yeah, no, this is evil. This is actually evil. And he tagged Palworld as well.
That's crazy work. That's
crazy.
the crazy part.
But I
Did he think that Palworld was gonna like QRT him and be like, "Excellent work, brother.
Yeah.
Excellent."
we're getting recognized.
I will
for our-
say,
Yeah,
I don't highly disagree. I wouldn't say that they forced Nintendo, but I feel like they did push them. Like, hey, this is on the radar. You can't deny Palworld's growth, whether you played it or not.
For sure.
They were doing
bro.
exponential numbers. I'm
No.
not saying the level of Pokemon,
bro.
but it does push them to say, hey, we gotta on top. We gotta do something a little bit more.
But
'Cause
see,
if this
ZA
game had just
This
came
game's
up
been in the
and
works
beat-
since 2023.
which is fine. But at the same time, the visibility does put some fuel on Pokemon. Like, okay,
Yeah,
this
that's
is on
fair.
our radar to some degree. You can't ignore just how big this game was. It had to do something.
I agree with
that's fair.
that, but you would be seeing those ripple effects down the road. ZA has been in development. I mean, presumably since
for a long time.
Legends Arceus came out. You know, like I imagine that Legends team finishes Arceus, begins work on next Legends game. So the idea that like just last year in January, Palworld drops and Nintendo's like, hey, that Legends game you're making, scrap all of it. We need to do something about this.
No, totally. Lumi, the picture that I sent you guys right before this, the 4chan leak of the starter Pokemon of Legends ZA that leaked like hours before the trailer, the timestamp on it is I think 2023 August. So like it's been in development for
For a
I mean,
while.
when did Palworld come out? 2024?
Yeah.
Or
2024
They had like
January.
earlier trailers though. 'Cause they had
Yeah, it
basically
was
came out a
January
while ago.
2024.
100%. This was in development before Palworld ever
yeah.
was announced. Maybe
I
Palworld was in
actually
development
agree
too, but
with Jaleel,
Yeah, actually, so Palworld initially announced in 2021.
That's a long time.
Hmm.
I do agree with Jaleel though, because we've seen how Pokemon adapts to like other competitors. In the
Yokai?
market.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yokai
not this
Watch,
fast.
right?
But I was about to say Yokai Watch in 2016. I mean, Sun and Moon and even the Sun and Moon anime very, very clearly take a page out of Yokai Watch's book. Like there was a lot of innovation that happened around that time because people genuinely thought at that time Yokai Watch is going to be the Pokemon killer, and we saw how they.
That was a crazy era. I
think-
remember that.
I think too that was another thing that I wanted to roast about this is that like it kind of expresses another idea that I've heard since Palworld came out, which is like Pokemon is cooked from Palworld. You know what I mean? And like the fact of the matter is, I said this long ago on our podcast, but what did people refer to Palworld as? They constantly referred to it as Pokemon with guns. And as long as we're referring to a game as Pokemon with blank, Pokemon without blank, I'm sorry, but Pokemon's Pokemon's doing fine. Now the day we start calling Pokemon Palworld without the guns, Pokemon might be cooked.
They're
you know?
in trouble. Yeah,
That's true.
No,
That's true.
If in Legends Unova you're in Wild West United States, and you have a gun.
Yeah.
Then maybe we can say Palworld influenced.
And
that.
Absolutely.
It definitely is like it stems from the louder side of the community talking, right? It's those
Yeah.
who are like older on the PC specifically side because this game
not
definitely
touching
ranked
grass,
PC
just
heavy.
yelling on Twitter. tagging
Yeah,
Pokemon and
like-
everything.
Yeah, it's definitely like the way more adult set PC players that were definitely pushing that initiative, you know, Pokemon with guns, etc., etc. But like to some degree, like the game, whether you agree or not, did really it starts successful. I don't know where the game's at now. I haven't touched it or played it, but their numbers were great. I mean, 2.1 million like players like reached on Steam. They were doing really well. So it's definitely was on. I think to some degree,
like a month.
we need to like pivot in some degree into like, cool, people are really looking at this. Maybe we should like take a peek at it, do what we need to do, make sure this next game is a banger, right? So
yeah, I think that pressure definitely can help. It just basically it just gets those ideas on the radar for the Game Freak team.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think
because it just resets expectations of fans.
Yeah, and I do think the big thing with this one is like it's forced Nintendo. Now I wouldn't say all that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally forced them.
Fine.
Like,
And we should thank Palworld. Like,
thank you,
not,
Palworld. No.
For the record, we shouldn't thank anybody because, like, I'm paying for a game. If I'm getting the game, I'm paying for it. I don't owe anyone a thank you. But if we're thanking someone, should you not thank, you know, Nintendo or Pokemon to listening to that criticism, listening to that, you know, exactly. I want this from Palworld to be in Pokemon and taking that, you know, because the fact of the matter is, I mean, dude, we're all victims of it on here. How many people in this call bought Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and bought Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl and hated it? Because I know at least me and Soul did. And so the fact of the matter is,
I hate BDSP. I don't hate Let's Go. I like Let's Go. All right.
I don't hate BDSP. I hate Let's Go.
I'll fight all of you. I like Let's Go.
One of y'all hates one, but you bought it anyway. So the fact of the matter is, I mean, Pokemon don't need to change nothing, and we will still make their money.
We're a part of the problem. We're a part of the problem.
That's a $60 business.
Go back and play Let's Go and appreciate all those beautiful cutscenes that ended up being in Legends Arceus that are the same cutscenes that are going to be in Legends ZA.
I might end up hating Legends ZA, but I'm gonna buy it.
Say the good cutscene started with X and Y.
Always will.
See, I feel like saying that, like, oh, the Palworld forced Pokemon to adapt. Like, they can definitely take inspiration. Like John said, they always like find ways to kind of innovate. But like to say that they forced them is a little too much, especially when you think about like. Obviously, Palworld has a much older demographic. You know, it's Pokemon with guns.
Yeah.
Pokemon's target demographic do not want guns. They're kids. Let's be honest. It's kids, and even people like, let's say, who have like, because most of the people who are spoken up about it are like Pokemon fans who've grown older and they've kind of outgrown Pokemon a little bit, and this is like a little bit edgier, more mature, something that they like. But that's not the core Pokemon fan base, because there's always going to be new kids that are coming up. Like we talked a little bit earlier about how, you know, kids these days, their first and favorite Pokemon game is Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's just like, and a lot of people don't like Sword and Shield, so it's just like, and same goes for Scarlet and Violet. You're gonna grow up, the kids growing up that are saying their favorite games are Scarlet and Violet.
Cousin loves Sword and Shield.
And I think
honestly,
like,
that's such a great point.
It's not gonna, like, Palworld is not gonna be like a Pokemon game like Palworld is never gonna happen, because that's not what sells.
Not Pokemon, right?
That's not.
I think we all forget that, like, growing up, we were playing Pokemon. I was playing Pokemon Gold and Silver. I was playing Pokemon. I was playing the Hoenn games.
Fire Red.
And their older kids thought that was stupid, and were telling me that I should be playing a different game, you know? So no matter what happens, we're like, obviously no Pokemon game is perfect, but I don't know. I'm always just trying to look on the bright side. There's so many good things that I still love about Pokemon.
Yeah, and
the idea that there's someone whose first game is Scarlet and Violet, so they just assume that it's standard for Pokemon games to have you fall through the world.
Yeah. I think to add to that demographic part is, especially with the older fans talking, with a game like Palworld, not everyone has access to a PC, and obviously a decent one to run the game, but a kid can more than likely get a Switch or a Switch Lite to play this game, enjoy it, right? It's way more accessible for everyone versus like someone who's like, you know, PC Master Race, best thing on the planet is what you need to play this game at top tier 4K, 120 fresh rate.
I don't even think people even want like Pokemon with guns. Honestly, it's kind of stupid.
They don't.
No.
No.
It's funny as a gimmick, but no one wants it.
Yeah,
long term, you're like,
as a meme, that's funny. It's like, yo, that's funny.
Yeah.
But like,
the only gun I want is Inteleon, you know? You bang, you know?
And he doesn't even have a gun. It's his finger. He just
it's his finger.
Like, you know. But Jaleel, I think you said it like you said Pokemon, you know, make games for everyone. That is literally like the perfect way to put it. Because like, what I like about Pokemon is, although their target demographic, their main selling numbers comes from like kids, you know, ages between like 5 to 12, somewhere around there. Like, there's still lots of things about Pokemon that can be enjoyed by adults like us. And let's say you've outgrown Pokemon because you don't like the playstyle, it's too easy. Okay, that's on you, but there's still other ways to enjoy Pokemon. Yeah. Coliseum and XD were made to be a little bit more of a older Pokemon audience. There's things like the manga that can be enjoyed, TCG. So there's like other ways to enjoy Pokemon that's outside of just the gameplay in the main series. So Pokemon doesn't have to try to be like a Palworld to try to get older fans to come, or even look at Pokemon Go. Like, that brought a bunch of people in, and like, there are people, as much as I don't like it, there are people who just, when you say Pokemon, they think of Pokemon Go. They're like, oh yeah, I love Pokemon Go too. And it's like, yeah, okay, but they still like Pokemon to some degree, you know. It's still Pokemon at the end of the day, and they don't have to shove guns in the game to get adults to play, you know what I'm saying?
How many times have you heard someone, when you go like, oh, I make Pokemon videos, they go, oh, cool, my son loves the Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard that?
That's like our
I literally got that today. Pokemon
Most
podcast,
of the time when
my
I tell people
kids
that,
love
they
it.
go, oh, I played Pokemon 20 years ago. Pokemon's tight.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's still around.
Oh,
Let's
live.
go, Ponyta.
Oh,
What is
my
it?
God.
Bro interrupted the pod.
Club.
He's
Rabbit
interesting.
ass.
I hate this guy,
Here we
bro.
go.
Oh!
Cheating, dude.
He felt
That's
it.
actually
He
the
felt
rarest
it.
card
That
hybrid.
was pre-planned. That was pre-planned.
Bro, that's footage.
If it had been like
That's a YouTube
full
short.
Footage, he just got it timed right.
Yeah.
That
Crazy
is
work.
footage. That is
All
footage.
right, Jaleel, pull that Infernape.
He didn't even pop off. He didn't even pop off.
Oh,
It was
that's true.
pre-planned.
How much is that worth PSA graded?
How much you pay for that pack, bro? How much you pay for that?
Jaleel, time for that Infernape, bro.
Bro,
No, I would love to. I already opened my cards for the day and they got jack shit. I'm pissed.
I'm gonna pull it tomorrow.
Every morning I just get bro, I'm telling you. I'm about to be like the office crash out real soon. Because I'm not pulling this card no matter what I do.
Hybrid, you have no aura, bro. You think you're cool, you're pulling packs on screen. Yeah.